Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 2 versus 2 on 2 lakes, and I'm going to be playing with Unternehmen Zentrum. I wanted to bring this replay to you guys today because it was absolutely awesome. And I know I say that quite often, but this one was something special. It comes together due to you guys in the comments. You gave me the idea to make a division or deck out of the cheapest units available. So I've taken Unternehmen Zentrum since it seemed to be the best candidate, and I've put together a deck that is utterly ridiculous. So we've got T-34s, T-34-85s here, rolling to the front line. We also have AT guns. This is a ZIS-2. Yep, we might as well be playing still Division 2 at this point. I do actually have ZIS-3s in my artillery tab as well. Then I've got a bunch of KDA Schützen, which are reserve East German infantry. We've got some military police in there, both from the East Germans. I've also got Soviet military police in the deck. We've got the Mordgrenzer, which are like really cheap recon infantry coming in the SBW there. I've got a ton of these Flak Strela 2Ms. We've got Aufklallers coming in the UAZs with the machine guns on them. My most technologically advanced units are probably the Malyutkas and maybe the T-55s. Well, I also have Iglers, I guess. Those are pretty advanced as far as this deck is concerned. So yeah, we do have a lot of fun units to be looking at today that we wouldn't usually see. Over on the left-hand side here, you can see that unfortunately our opponent Nomad has managed to claim the town quite significantly up against Fafa. That's because Fafa's playing the 39th and he's up against the 11E, which is the 11th parachutist from the French, and they get really good forward deployment infantry. So he's got the Para SAS here, for example, the Chasseur Para. He's got the Milans in position. He's got the AMX 90 Lynxes, and I can see that he's in trouble. So what we're going to do, we're going to give him a platoon of T-34s, of course. What else? So we're going to be sending those to the left-hand side. I've set up in the town on the right-hand side. Again, KDA Schützen with military police to back them up. And my back line is just a bunch of these Flak Strela 2Ms. These only have 40% accuracy. It's not too bad for 15 points, honestly, if you can get enough of them. My UAZ KPVs are getting killed off there. I've created a line of T-34s on this left side. Got a ZIS-2 to protect the road. We've got Malyutkas there. And what is this? It is an amphibious push of the Vopos in the SPW PSHs. So these are actually pretty good machine guns on these. And we're going for a little bit of a amphibious push, which is looking absolutely gorgeous, by the way. And that's going to try and infiltrate Delta. I've also got a KDA Führer coming in with the SBW 152K. Now, I was a little bit concerned that these might run out of fuel, but I decided to go for it nonetheless. Meanwhile, on the left side, we've got the Mi-8MT coming in to support my T-34s. So I do have a few helicopters, but they're only Mi-8s. That's all I allowed myself to bring in the helicopter tab, because I wanted to have a deck that was somewhat viable, but had all of the cheap units in it as well. And I'm going to be primarily trying to use the cheap units where possible. Poor SAS sniper, they're going to get annihilated by all of the T-34s and the BMPs. And yeah, now what I'm going to do is use Fafa's support with the T-34s, just screening for him. And then I can use my Mi-8T to get some shots down if needs be. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got Shroud here, who is not making a push just yet. So I was happy about that, because I was going to be able to spread out my T-34s on this left-hand side and make a push. If you're wondering how I've spread it out in a nice line like this, you can hold right-click and drag, and it will create a nice line formation that you can push forwards with. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a T-34 push here across the fields and just into these buildings. I don't really care if there's anything here. It's just going to allow the BMP-3s and the Mi-8 to engage them. So that was the plan. Like, at the end of the day, those T-34s, they only cost me 25 points apiece. I've also got a bunch of Malyutkas coming in for the right-hand side to support my T-34s over there. Osa is going to be getting some missiles on target. Almost gets killed by the Seed Jaguars, but it's okay. Now we're going to be up against ERC 90 Sages. One shot, one kill. Oh yeah, T-34 beating the French equipment. Gotta love it. Now the ERC-90 is probably the best vehicle that Nomad has to work with in terms of tanks or armoured vehicles. So killing those one shot with the T-34 was good news. That meant that I could trade very efficiently into his armour. Same deal here with the Sage. Going to be stopping my T-34s, allowing them to get on target there, because on the move these things are dire. They only have 10% accuracy. But now moving closer to the town, the Chasseur-Padda there firing its LRAC at my T-34, revealing its position, allowing the HE of the T-34s to get on target, and the machine guns as well. I'm also soaking a lot of these HGEMs from the Milan 2s that could be hitting better targets, and all the while I'm going to be charging into the town with my Vopos. So these are Volkspolizei, military police for the East Germans. They are a 6-man squad with Scorpions. Oh yeah, get the Scorpions out for the lads. And the great thing about them, honestly, is that they have 15-point squad with an RPG-18, so they actually have an AT launcher. You can see things are really getting crazy here as all of my infantry arrive in these SBWPSHs, and the SBWPSHs are going to be firing into the town here, slowly but surely, whittling down these squads. So the VLRA are going to be coming under fire. Chasseur-Padda on the edge there. Look how quickly they die to all of those machine guns. Nomad doesn't want to sit on the edge of the town with those, that's for sure. These ones unfortunately stunned for him, so nothing he can do about that. Milan 2 is going to go down so quickly, and we're going to be hitting that 50 cal as well. So just blasting through the town here now with multiple squads of these Vopos. We do have a Gazelle cannon coming in, which is actually a big threat for my lightly armoured unit. So you can see it is doing a ton of damage to the T-34s and the SBWPSHs, but thankfully FAF are going to be moving forwards with its OSAs to support, whilst I continue to do damage against the Chasseur-Padda here. I've got more Vopos on the way in these SBWPSHs just to screen. But now here comes the push on the right hand side, and you can see that whilst all of that has been going on, my T-34s have not been having a fun time here in this tree line, because we're up against Leopard 1A1s, Leopard 1A5s, and Leopard 2A3s. Shroud is playing with the 2nd Panzergren after all. Now what I'm going to do is advance with all of my Malyutkas and see how much damage I can get done. Now the Malyutka actually penetrating the 1A1 and doing a significant amount of damage, also getting some damage down onto the Marder 1A3. He smoked off his Leopard, so that's not able to help anymore. Look at that HGEM wiggle in there. Oh yeah. They are going to be able to hit that. Unfortunately that one missing. Absolutely epic Soviet technology. Okay. SBWPSH is still pushing through here, soaking shots from the Apalas of these Legionnaire Padda. My Vopos still pushing through. And look at this, the wall of SBWPSH is on the right hand side. We've got my military police coming in now, a couple of the Commentatora and the KDA Schützen. I've got a T-34 still at the back here, but yeah, the military police pretty important actually for these engagements, so we can overwhelm the more elite infantry. All the while, we've still got our amphibious push going on the right hand side, and we've almost made it. But you know what's not going to make it? My leader. This thing was so slow on the water, it's going to get stranded with no fuel. So I'm not going to be able to capture the opposing sector, but we have managed to take back this town quite substantially with all of this machine gun support coming in from the right hand side here, and the infantry push in the town. So absolutely wild game so far. Baffa coming in with the Motorstrelke leader, and that's going to secure that side, but I am still under pressure on this side, and now the Malyutkas under pressure by Fallschirmjäger, which are in range. So that HGM's going nowhere. My ZIS-2 sitting on this road is not in an ideal position because it can't do anything against that infantry. I do have a line of T-34s that are brought up on the right side of the town, so they're waiting to ambush the martyrs if I get a chance. And meanwhile over here, you can see that my Vopos have now unloaded, and they're going to be trying to kill any reinforcements that come in on this reinforcing road. You can also see that I'm capturing a bunch of these transports that have been trying to exit on this side. They're still pushing forwards here with the SPW PSHs, keeping pressure onto the 11th French. The Chasseur Pala just not lasting under all of that MG fire. And this just seemed like such a big counter to that French unit. And meanwhile over here, we've got my SPWs running forwards and killing the transports that we're capturing, and they're taking back. I've got my Vopos currently hunting for the Fuchs here, trying to get the RPG-18 on target. Now, I did praise the fact that they have these, but they aren't the most accurate in the world, as you can see. Oh, it is 50% accuracy, apparently not for me, because I just missed like 6 in a row. Finally managed to get one on target and kill that off. It's not going to decap the sector because I would need my own leader there to take that, but obviously that's currently now stranded on the right hand side. I did bring up a bunch of T-34s to help put more pressure on the left side, but I decided to bring them in on the flank of Shroud's push here. A lot of my KDA Schützen have already been killed off. My military police currently just hiding because they don't have targets. But now I'm going to be bringing in new, even better Soviet technology. It is the MiG-21s with their bombing strikes. We're actually going to do a decent amount of damage to some of his infantry there and the 2A3. We're even going to be able to get away from the Mirage F1C. Look at that. Epic. Anyway, here comes the T-34 train as we choo-choo towards the Leopard 2A3. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to charge this. But thankfully, I have a lot of Malyutkas to back me up. So all of the Malyutkas going to be zooming through, putting a lot of damage onto that 2A3. None of my T-34s could actually fire at it yet because they were all inefficient into the front armor of the 2A3. Finally, we get close enough where we get an HGM on target there and find a kill. Meanwhile, the Vopos actually getting rockets into a lot of the reinforcements here and doing damage to them. We have killed a bunch of stuff on the road here, and I'm still continuing to do more damage with the Vopos, but he is going to finally clean them up. Meanwhile, look at this, the SPW 152Ks and the SPW PSH is moving through to the back line. And we got the T-34s coming in on the flank here, onto his push, breaking through the buildings, smashing into the side armor of the Leopards. The Leopard 2A3 gonna get swarmed by Malyutkas, and that get blown up. And now artillery coming in to try and finish off some of these T-34s. Yeah, but what's this over here? It's a bunch of Super Pumas, and what have they done? They've captured our back sector, so whilst I was busy sending amphibious forces around the right side to capture theirs, unfortunately, obviously with this ending up out of fuel, just chilling in the middle of the water here, they actually managed to successfully get a command in here, and what that means is they can reinforce now from Charlie into our backline, which is absolutely disastrous. But right now, just trying to get my KDA Schützen up to counter push. Unfortunately, all of my Malyutkas got killed off and all the T-34s are now dead. You can see all of the burning wrecks here. But, you know, they did a good job, and they prevented the push that was coming in from Shroud. Now I just need to kill off the M577 on that right side of the sector. So, what am I going to do? Bring over my KDA Fjorda here to decap this at least. I've got my Mi-8T rolling over there as well to get some rockets on target. Back here I have a random Mi-8. That's mainly due to the fact that I was trying to see if I could put a leader into it to fly it over to this sector. But turns out that doesn't work. I can't put a leader in the supply helicopter. Now my unit that was coming down the road here, my leader, ended up getting killed off by the ERC-90 Sages. that Nomad has brought in. The BMP2s are going to be able to engage those and take them out. But we've got to really do something about this. So what I'm trying to do now is obviously bomb to start off with, get the MiG-21s coming in with those bombing strikes, take out the Chassepara. And I'm now also going to be bringing up a bunch of ZIS-2s. Now these ZIS-2s were originally headed to the right side here, but I think I end up changing their direction so that I spread them out as a wall. Oh no, I bring in more. There we go. We got more ZIS-2s coming in. Now these ZIS-2s are pretty expensive. I mean, they're 30 points a piece. For what they do, they only have like 9 penetration. I feel like it's a little bit overpriced. My KDA Schützen, meanwhile, they're going to be trying to get back into position here after taking out the leader. But things currently even. 476 points to 324. Nice kill by the Su-27 there, takes out a couple of helicopters. These Gazelle cannons could cause us a lot of problems, so taking them out is pretty important. Fafa has managed to get a vehicle back into this sector, so that is going to stop the reinforcements for the time being at least. Now we just need to clean out what is left before they kill this BTR. Now I am going to be picking up these ZIS-2s that I dropped off. We're actually going to be moving them forwards, and I'm just going to keep creating a new defensive line that can prevent any of the units that had been brought in from making a breakout. Meanwhile on the right, still forces coming in. Like these are the Leopards that we were harassing with our Vopos before, and they are now putting pressure onto the KDA Schützen. But I have got a bunch of ZIS-2s now in position. We've got the Malyutkas clumped up on the left hand side. Su-22 meanwhile coming in, taking out a couple of the Gazelles. Pretty good. These are really kind of terrible Su-22s. The only good thing about these was that they have 30% ECM, so they were soaking up a bunch of the Mistrals. Now those rockets were an attempt at shooting a ground unit, and they just don't really work very well right now. And unfortunately our BTR-60 got killed in the meantime, so they're going to be able to bring in more reinforcements. And yeah, when I said this game gets wild, I haven't really had a time to breathe, as you can see. So I've just kind of been bringing in all the T-34s, we've been bringing in groups of Malyutkas so that we can overwhelm the Leopards. We've got our infantry, KDA, Schützen, Vopos to contest the towns and do the little flanky maneuver. And now we're trying to recover the left side. So I've got the ZIS-2s in position, we've set up a little wall here. He is probably going to be spotting that with the Gazelle, but my AT crew's ready to fight if needs be. I'm going to be bringing in some more infantry here. We've got the military police coming in with the KDA Schützen. I've also spoiled myself with a T-55. Would you look at that? So yeah, just a matter of cleaning out Nomad here now and the rest of the infantry that are in these buildings. Fafa did manage to get Motorstrauki Komroti in the top right to replace the one that died in the bottom left, or bottom right, sorry. So that was good. Nice little bombing strike there, going to take out the 50 cal. Doesn't end up getting shot down by the Mistrals, so that was good. I am going to get my own little truck in here. I'm not allowed more than that, really. Like I said, the T-55 is a bit much. But yeah, here comes the infantry. 3 military police for 1 KDA Schützen. MiG-21 actually coming in with the bombing strike onto the AA itself. I was hoping to get a cheeky kill there. Didn't actually end up working out. MP2 going to be trying to secure that kill with the Konkurs instead, and does manage to do so. My Malyutka's lined up a little bit further back. You can see the ZIS-2s nicely in position here. And my ZIS-2s so far, I think we're actually getting some decent kills somewhat. There's a kill actually for a ZIS-2 onto the VLRA. And the BMP-2 now going to be engaging that as well, but the ZIS-2, nice shot there as well. Actually getting the job done. Awesome stuff. I was well impressed by the performance of my ZIS-2s, to be honest. But yeah, we're still like just chilling here with all of these Vopos. You can see how many I have, and then we've got a bunch, well, a couple of military police in here as well to provide those military police buffs. The other thing that's really cool about the military police is they come in these special UAZs, which have like different paint jobs on them, which is cool. They're marked as military police units. Now, I found the way to use this SU-22 was to fire position it. So you can see I'm fire positioning the Aeromobile leader right now as I approach it with all of my military police. These military police have absolutely amazing uniforms as well. Look at that. Those white helmets showing the KDA shoots and how it's done. T-55 now coming up to support. The MP2 finally finishes off the Aeromobiles. And I think what really worked nicely here was my light vehicles and like terrible infantry screening for Fafa's like better units. So his BMP2s, his BMP3s were really able to get a lot of damage in because a lot of the fire was concentrated on things like my Malyutkas or T-34s and stuff like that throughout the game. Jaguar here trying its luck as it flies over my absolutely awesome AA net made up of Strellas. The SU-27 actually coming in there, turning for the Mirage, is going to find the kill. Very nicely done. Unfortunately, on the back of that is the Mirage F1C, but you know what's not dead just yet? It's the SBW 152K. And I actually pinged this for my teammate, and he had a little laugh that was over there. So we have managed to capture back this sector. That is going to put us on a +4, which is a pretty good lead to be on. My SU-22 here currently just hovering around, does have some cannon ammunition left, so I can use that if needs be. But we're currently under quite a lot of pressure now on the right hand side. The Leopard 1A1's now pushing in pretty hard, and my ZIS-2, whilst it can do a little bit of damage, it's doing 2 damage a shot to this 1A1. It does actually look really cool when it fires. I like the recoil animation on it. That actually scored the kill onto the Leopard 1A1, by the way. MiG-21 coming in for the bombing strike onto another Leopard 1A1. Actually almost killed a bunch of infantry as well at the same time. You can see at the back I have brought up some Mi-8s so that they can get rockets on target. Any infantry that's pushing ahead of these 1A1s, great target for these Mi-8s. My Malyutkas now moving up on the left hand side to get HGMs on target, and with the support of the ZIS-2 we're actually getting some pretty decent kills, but just not really enough. Fafa is going to bring up some BMP-1s to assist. He's also got a nice bombing strike in there, very nice indeed. And the SU-25 AT going to be nice for taking out some of the more advanced tanks, the Leopard 2A3s and so on. Meanwhile, MiG-23s of my own going for the Super Puma kills. There were some Super Pumas like back here, I believe, which is the original reason that I bought these in. Yeah, they did a good job of harassing those extra Super Pumas further to the left. And we're still just about holding in this position. Fafa now moving up with the BMP-3s. BMP-3s are going to struggle a little bit against the Leopard 1A1s at this range. Ideally, they want to use their HGM to kill those. But the trouble with the HGM on a BMP-3 is it's not very accurate. It only has like 40% accuracy. So whilst it does have pretty good range, the accuracy is not great. You'll see all of the HGMs fly in and they're just as unsuccessful really as my Malyutkas. It's the Mi-24V with its Kokon that's actually getting a bunch of those kills. Looking here for the Leopard 1A1A1. Unfortunately going to miss that one. But here comes some more KDA Schützen. I had 24 KDA Schützen to use throughout this game, and I think I ended up bringing in all of them. You can see the units that were left over from that push. Actually, relatively good strength still. You know, all of these units are full strength after cleaning out all of the infantry here, so that was quite impressive. Meanwhile, Marder coming up on the right side there is too much for my KDA Schützen to deal with. KDA Schützen in the town though, still holding strong. And yeah, these SBWs up here, they were just chilling because I saw that they were low on health or low on fuel, sorry, and just decided to leave them there. I wasn't too worried about microing them. They can't do anything. Like, they could maybe kill like an unarmored command vehicle or something for me, but that's about it. So now my poor squad getting taken out here. Ideally with manpads, you are going to want to turn off the rifle that they have so that they don't reveal themselves in these sorts of situations and you can hide them. Because as soon as they start firing with their rifle, they're going to lose their stealth, and then they're going to be really hard to hide again. So KDA Schützen looking for the RPGs on target. A lot of these kills actually coming from Buffer's Motorstraki Metis right now, which is a pretty nice unit to have in this situation because they can do some decent damage to both of the Leopard 1A1s and the 1A3s. A bunch of units had come down this right side, so I am going to be bringing in some more Volpos, but you can see my reliance now more on the military police that I have left over rather than the KDA Schützen or the Volpos. So all of the assist 2s now just creating a line to defend this sector. My T-55's chilling here. Got a couple of military police, they're going to be hanging around with those. But yeah, the main thing is getting this sorted out. I've got a couple of Mi-8s that have been reloaded by another Mi-8 that brought in some supply. But with the +4 ticking, we're actually in a pretty nice spot. The Jaguar cluster coming in for the cluster I assume onto the T-80BV but missing. And now the Volpos, they're going for the kill onto my KDA Schützen. Oh, sorry, the Aeromobiles coming in and Legionnaire Para trying to kill the Volpos, but my Volpos, because we have such large numbers here, demolishing them with the Scorpions, no less. Now on the left side there, the BMP-3, the BMP-2, going to be demolishing that unit. Very nice indeed. They have managed to get a command in here, so we are being contested. And I was starting to get a little bit worried because I've kind of ran out at this point of T-35s, of Malyutkas, and my deck's getting pretty thin. And he's still got an absolute wall of German firepower. So Leopard 1A1s, Leopard 1A5s, Leopard 2A3s, backed up by Gepards. There's a wall of Fliegerfaust. They've got the Panzergrens that came in the Marders. There's just a lot of stuff here. Tornado IDS also trying to come over for the MW1 cluster strike. Not managing to get that off. The Su-27 here from Fafa was absolutely crucial. Also, RIP my poor leader squad there. He got killed by an HGM from the enemy helicopter. Really, really sad. Nice little rocket strike there from my Su-22. Smashes some of the infantry as it comes into the town. But the KDA Schützen, they're trying to hold on. M577 moving in to cancel the tick because it's pretty close right now. My best bet, based on what I had left, was to bring in Ziz 3s and mortars. Ziz 3s, guys. Of all things. So yeah, Ziz 3s on their way. This push is slowly but surely working. But we have managed to clean out their infantry on the left side of this town. So what I'm actually going to do is counter push here with my infantry so that we can get kills onto their command here and stop them from countering that. Because if I can keep my command here whilst we kill the command over here, then we'll be able to hopefully win the game. They've got a long way to come back. There's only 11 minutes left on the clock. Tornado IDS coming in. Absolutely crazy cluster strikes there, demolishing a lot of my units. Thankfully one of those getting shot down by my teammate. But yeah, what a wild game this was. My infantry here finally arriving at the front. But you can see the Volpos and the KDA Schützen engaging all the Chasseurs-Para. We did manage to take out the leader, so we did find the +2 again. MiG-21s come in on the left there. Managed to kill off the machine gun and the Mistral, also the Milan. Unfortunately, Tornado is hanging about. Does manage to shoot down at least one of the MiG-21s. It's going to come back round for the second kill, but my MiG-21 just makes it out alive. So now we have the mortar strikes getting into position. My last Malyutkas are on the field. I'm even bringing in my T-55 leader to help try and cap this for long enough. My UAZ currently doing its best to hide on the backside of this tree line as we reach the 2,000 point mark. The mortar's firing away and we just win the day. 30 minutes, 5 seconds, the game's going to come to an end. And what a game that was. With an absolutely crazy deck, somehow we made it work. Good job by my teammate. Definitely supported my push as well, with my cheap infantry kind of just leading the charge, and the T-34s soaking all the HGMs and stuff allowed him to get lots of tasty kills with his much higher technologically advanced units, I would say is probably the best way to say it. Well, starting there with the cheapest of the cheap. And to be honest, I was surprised how well it went. The SPW PSHs getting actually a ton of damage down onto the enemy infantry. It wasn't really so much the Vopos that managed to get the kills, it was a lot of the SPW PSHs. And the T-34s, by killing one Sagae, paid themselves off, so that was really good. The MiG-21s killing like a Leopard 1A1 was nice. The Su-22 is killing a couple of helicopters for me. Like every time something gets a kill, it's great value. Like a Malyutka killing 2 Leopard 1A1s is really good. KDA Schützen trading into pretty much anything is great. And look at that, it's a Zis-2 that killed a Leopard 1A1 and a Marder 1A3 Milan. My best unit we can't look at, unfortunately, in the replay. But yeah, again, fantastic job by my teammate. He managed to support what was an absolute shit show of a deck. And we did manage to make a really nice amphibious play actually on the right. It's just a shame that my unit ran out of fuel. In hindsight, I could have brought the MTLB supply vehicle with it to make sure it didn't run out of fuel on the water, because the MTLB munitions vehicle is actually amphibious as well. But I just risked it and it didn't work, and then I just kind of left it there because it was funny. Pretty much. A great game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.